Greetings to everybody. This is Del K. Burton at The Real Spiel. And I want to talk to us today. And good afternoon to those in America, Canada. Good evening to those in Israel and Africa. I understand the reach of my voice, and I understand who I'm talking to. 85% of the people listening right now and will be tuning in. I want to let you know who I know who you are. Many of you are African Americans, approximately 85% of you. At the same rate, 85% of you are men, 17% of you are women. That demographic is the same all over the world. I know who I'm talking to. I also understand the moment that we are in. And let me show you the moment, because we've been here before. We are in a moment where there could be a paradigm shift, a shift of regimes, a shift of the power base, where the conversation has shifted to us. Mandela was there. The conversation and power base shifted into his hands. His legacy will forever be told by what he did with it. We've been here before with Obama, and the power base shifted to our hands. The legacy will forever be told what he did with it. We've been here before in Uganda, where Idi Amin held a legacy in his hand, and what he did with it, his legacy will forever be told. We have seen the long line of freedom fighters, of Malcolm, of Martin, of Stokely Carmichael, of Angela Davis. We have heard the voices of our poets, the Baldwins, and seen the visions of our visionaries, of W.E. Du Bois and Marcus Garvey. And so we stand here at a place in time where history and the ancestors who came before us are sitting there waiting for us to make a decision about our time. The international narrative has moved from the known voices to the voices crying in the wilderness. And what takes place many times in history, in biblical antiquity, in historical chronicles, is that two choices always are in the hand of those that the power dynamic shifts to. They always have two choices. Choice number one is to seize power. Seize it. Seize the day. Let me give you an example. Though many of us understand these stories, so I try to keep these stories at the top of our mind. Joshua, he had a moment in the valley of Ajalon where his enemy was on the run. And Joshua could have simply said, "It is enough." But Joshua looked to heaven and said, "Sun and moon, stand still," until we had chased our enemy and had fully captured the day. And they said no other time in history has God responded to a man in that way, where the sun and moon stood still in the valley of Ajalon. Is this the valley of Ajalon moment again? One example. Example number two of what takes place very, very often is our leaders sign a bad deal. We accept a bad deal. And we accept this deal for usually a multitude of reasons. Reason number one is many of us do not want the fallout of warfare, the anguish of turmoil, the arduousness of struggle. And sometimes it's just easier to cut a deal. Sometimes it's easier just to turn your swords into pruning hooks. Sometimes it's easier to offer an olive branch and just cut a deal. Could be a good deal, could be a bad deal, but it's a deal. The question, I think, remains for the Black community in this moment is what will be the story of our legacy? What will be the story of this moment? We've had so many of them. We've had so many opportunities and times to seize the victory. And we've had a lot of times to make a deal. Kyrie Irving wanted to play basketball again. And he was given 6 things in order to allow him to play basketball. And the 6 things were essentially very, very painless. Some sensitivity training, a series of apologies, right? To have a conversation with members of the Jewish community, and to show contrition in the presence of the individual who was his employer. And after going through these series of things, after this deal was struck, he would be allowed to go back and to play basketball again. Many of us waited to see what his decision would be. Some of us hoped for him to hold out, and we felt that if he held out, he would see us the day. Others wanted to see him coming back to play. And so they said, why don't he just go through the process he has to go through and get back to playing basketball? His team needs him. So at the end of the day, Kyrie's decision will always be his legacy. Your legacy is who you are, is what you will be known for. And what every leader and every people have to swallow down and live with. After I ink the deal, can I live with my legacy? They also have to live with this. If they decide to seize the day, who will they have to pick up from the battlefield? Who will they have to tell their family this person didn't make it? We are in an ominous time in history. Was war declared on us? To some extent, yes.